Namo Buddhaya and welcome everyone to Fundamentals of Abhidhamma course by Bhante Kusala. Today is week 6 and this is Sutta class 6. Vaishali Gaidhani will be taking the session today. Bhante, are you able to hear us, Bhante?
Upasaka.
Yes, Bhante. So, Bhante, thank you very much for rejoining, Bhante. We know you are facing a lot of difficulties, yet you keep us giving the time and the attention. May I request you to please give us Ratana Sutta so we could start the proceeding for the session, Bhante.
Yeah. Okay, I will recite introduce of Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna discourse.
Okay, Bhante.
Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Ewa Mesuddha Ekam Samayam Bhagava Kurusu Viharati Kamasa Dhamman Nama Kuruna Nigamo Tatarako Bhagava Bhikkhu Amadesi Bhikkhu Padante Di Bhikkhu Bhagavato Pisa Soso Bhagava Ita Docha Ekayano Ayam Bhikkhave Mago Satana Visuddhiya Soga Pridivana Samadhigamaya Doga Domanasana Adhigamaya Nyaya Sadhigamaya Nibbana Sasichigaya Yadidam Chadaro Satipatthana Kadami Chadaro Ida Bhikkhave Bhikkhu Kayi Kayanubasi Viharati Adabi Sambhajano Vinya Logi Abhija Domanasam Viranadu Virananubasi Viharati Adabi Sambhajano Satima Vinya Logi Abhija Domanasam Chedi Chedanubasi Viharati Adabi Sambhajano Satima Vinya Logi Abhija Domanasam Dhammi Sudhamanubasi Viharati Adapi Sambhajano Satima Vinaya Logi Abhija Domanasam Udiso Nitido Kadensa Pana Bhikkhave Bhikkhu Kayi Kayanubasi Viharati Ida Bhikkhave Bhikkhu Arinya Gadova Rukamula Gadova Sunyakara Gadova Nisirati Panlingam Abhujadova Ujongayam Banidaya Parimuga Sadi Ubadhabidova So Sadova Asasadi Sadova Basasadi Digawa Asasando Diga Asasamidi Bhajanadi Digawa Basasando Abasasis Basasando Digawa Basasando Digam Basasamidi Bhajanadi Rasawa Asasando Rasa Asasamidi Bhajanadi Rasawa Pasasando Rasam Pasasami Di Bhajanadi Sabakaya Badi Sanvedi Asasizami Di Segadi Sabakaya Badi Sanvedi Pasasizami Di Segadi Pasambayangaya Singhada Asasizami Di Segadi Pasambayangaya Singharam Pasasa Paskaya Singharam Basa Sesami Di Sekadi Tabidiyo Vivijandu Sogorogo Vinasandu Madhivun Dundrayo Sukidiga Yugo Boa Abhiwadana Silesa Nechan Uda Pachayino Chadaro Dhamma Vodandu Ayu Uno Sukham Balam Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, Upaskar.
Thank you very much, Bante. So I just request Vaishali Tai to please go ahead and start the sessions. Thank you, Tai.
Yeah, thank you, Pankaj. So, Vandami Bhante, and I begin the session today with the Sutta study. That's Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta. So we have the Sutta from the Sutta Pitaka, which is the second Pitaka, second book of collections from the Tripitaka, of the three Pitakas. So Digha Nikaya is the first book that is containing the long discourses of the Buddha. In the Digha Nikaya, the first section is Sila Khanda Vaggapali. It has 30 suttas, and previously in the last 2 weeks we have taken Brahmajala Sutta, the first one in the Sila Khanda Vaggapali, and the second one, Samaya Phala Sutta, also we have covered in the last week. Now this week we are going to do Mahavaggapali, which has 10 sutta. And the ninth one in the second book, that is the Mahavaggapali, is the Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta. So the Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta, the discourse on great foundation of mindfulness, is the 22nd sutta in the Digha Nikaya. How it is placed in the Tripitaka. The Sutta Pitaka, Digha Nikaya, Mahavaggapali, and then the Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta. So the Buddha's instruction to the bhikkhus that is given in the discourse on great foundation of mindfulness. This sutta is a very important discourse on the foundation of mindfulness in 18 sections. It's a very long discourse. So these are the reference material we have used to understand the sutta, to study the sutta as given in the Sutta Pitaka. So we have the Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta, the great discourse on establishing of awareness by Yuko. And this version of the translation is used in the, it is referred from the VRI publication, from the tripitaka.org. And then we have another translation of Satipaṭṭhāna Vipassana by Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. Another version, the original sutta we are referring from the Tripitaka, that is the Pali version. And then there are two other places where we are referring for the commentary, because the Digha Nikaya commentary by Bhante Buddhaghosa, Venerable Buddhaghosa, the Sumangala Vilasini. And moreover, since this sutta is talking about the path of purification, it is in fact covering the whole 7 process of purifications. And the Visuddhimagga, which is again very well-known commentary by Bhante Buddhaghosa, is actually talking about, the whole book is talking about the path of purification for that matter. And this particular book, The Path of Purification, is translated from Pali by Bhikkhu Nanamoli in English. and also the Patisambhida Magga. So much of the references that I mentioned, the references are in the Visuddhimagga are from the Patisambhida Magga there. So this is about the reference material. Why I am talking about the reference material in so much detail is because this particular sutta is a very, very deep and profound sutta. And this sutta is actually based on, it talks about everything that is based on experiential knowledge. Now, so when we want to focus on the basic understanding of the sutta, what is mentioned in the sutta, in the written text, kind of this is a guide for us to understand the process of vipassana. And there are so many other things like kaya, vedana, chitta, dhamma, all these processes. So, sorry. Sorry about that. So, we are going to actually look at this message on the path of purification through the fourfold mindfulness. That's the Satipatthana, the Chattari, four Satipatthana. We are going to talk about in this sutta. So, just to give you an idea about the content, so the introduction, and then there are about different sections in each of the four mindfulness factors which are given here. That's the Kayanupassana. We have subsections in the Kayanupassana. Then we have Vedananupassana. Then we have Chittanupassana and Dhammanupassana. Dhammanupassana also has many subsections. And finally, we have the Satipatthana Bhavana, which is mentioning the results of the practice, practicing the mindfulness. So the Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta contents, they begin with Uddeso. And then majorly summarizing all of the contents into this particular slide, giving Kayanupassana, observation of the body, Vedananupassana, observation of feelings, Chittanupassana, observation of mind, Dhammanupassana, observation of mental contents, and Satipatthana Bhavana Nisanso, the result of practicing the establishing of awareness. So, Uddeso, it's the introduction or a brief summary. Like we have seen in the previous suttas, thus has been heard by me. This is Bhante Ananda saying or reciting the sutta in the Pathama Samhiti, the first Buddhist council. And so here in this sutta, the Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta begins with Evam me sutam ekam samayam bhagva kamasa dhammam nama kurunam nigamo. So Kamasa Dhammam is the name of the countryside, the village, and that is the place where the Buddha is giving this sutta. So you have Kuru region is present near Delhi. If you can see the map here, the major concentration in the center part of this map is the area of Bihar and the current Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. However, you can see the rivers Ganga and Jamuna. And both of them, in the northern part of this map, you can see Indraprastha, Delhi. So that's the place in the Patha, as mentioned in the Tripitaka. So the Kuru kingdom during the time of the Buddha was one of the 16 great Mahajanapadas. And this map is giving the geographical situation during the time of the Buddha. Therefore, you see in the central part that the area where the Buddha resided mostly along the Ganges and in the present Bihar and UP, you can see those places there. However, in the northern part, we can see Indraprastha and Delhi written there, very close to Delhi, or in Delhi for that matter. And the two rivers, River Ganges and River Jamuna. So these two rivers are flowing, I mean, they are very close to this place. And that's how we can see from the concentrated area in the center, the Dhamma had propagated to the northern part during this time. And the Buddha is giving the sutta in this particular region, in the Kuru region. The Kuru kingdom is one of the 16 great states or Mahajanpad mentioned in the early Buddhist texts. The Kuru kingdom was located in between the Yamuna and the Ganga river. And also we can see that places like Hastinapur and on the old Ganges bed are mentioned there near Delhi. Today, the region roughly fills a triangular form. Today are like Thaneshwar, Hisar, Hastinapur, and they also include Sonepat, Amin, Karnal, and Panipat. So this is a closer map giving more information exactly during that time. You can see the specific place, Kuru and Hastinapur and Indraprastha specifically written over there. So that is the place. And we can see how far it is from Magadha that this place is. And the Buddha is giving this sutta in this Kuru, Kuru country. So in the Kammasa Dhamma village, market town in the Kuru country. So further, Tatrakho Bhagwan Bhikkhu Amantesi. So the Buddha is calling out to the bhikkhus. Bhikkhavu is calling out attention to the bhikkhus. And the bhikkhus, they respond. Bhadante. So they respond to the Buddha's calling. So who are these bhikkhus? Are they all monks? No. All of them who are present over there, like the bhikkhu, bhikkhuni, upasak, upasika, all of them are there in the Sangha. So what the Buddha Ghosa in the commentary is written is Gambhira Desna Patigahana Samathataya. So the Buddha is giving this sutta to the people of the Kuru country, and it is mentioned in the commentary that it is a Gambhira Desana, a very deep, profound teaching. Patigahana Samathataya. So it is describing the people, saying they are able to accept, to receive Patigahana. Samathataya, able. They are proficient to receive such a deep and profound teaching. So the residents of Kuru country are said to be very proficient with deep wisdom. They are very much efficient, and they are able with good health, because the country is very prosperous with good climate, and all the basic requisites, necessities of the people are fulfilled very easily. So therefore, the people over here are able to devote themselves to the practice of Satipatthana or meditation. And further, the commentary mentions Nityam Kalla Sarira, Kalla Chitta Cha Hoti, always abiding with a sound body, sound mind. Why are they able to do that? Because a sound body, sound mind comes from a satisfied mind. And so the thing is, when we have a Dhammiko Raja, or when the conditions in a particular country are fulfilled, the basic requirements, then it is possible to do further meditation. That is what we can see from the sutta. So their mind and body is able to support, and people are able to receive and accept the deep Dhamma. Having seen their longing, their desire to know more about the Dhamma, because like we do even today, like if we have gone for a Vipassana course, and like we say, we have done 2 courses, 3 courses, 10 courses, and that is how even the people of this particular Kuru country used to talk about, the ladies used to talk about that, about understanding the Dhamma. And therefore, the Buddha taught them this profound Dhamma. So the Buddha says, Bhagava ekadavocha ekayano ayam bhikkave maggo. Ekayano maggo. So this is the only way to liberation. Ekayano. Ekayano would mean one. And eka means one. Ayano means path. So this is the one path, one way to liberation. We can be free from samsara only by this way. Every Buddha, every Arhan, they go to Nibbana only by this way and no other way. And this is the way of Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna. So, ekayano ayam bhikkave maggo sattanang visuddhiya toka paridevanang samattikamaya dukkha domanassanang attangamaya nyayassa adhigamaya nibbanassa sachikiriya yadidam chattaro sattipaṭṭhāna. So what it means. So first is, let us see that yes, this Sattipaṭṭhāna way, all those Arya Puggala, they go by this way. Sotapatti, Saddagami, Anagami, Arhat, all go by this way. And without Sattipaṭṭhāna, it is not possible to go ahead on the Arya Magga. If you look at the etymology, like we said, it is one way. It is the only way. And also it means one goal, the only goal of Nibbana. And the commentary, Ekayano Maggo, it says, Ekam Nibbanameva gachatiti uttamati yathaha brahma sampati ekayanang jati kayantadasi maggang pajanati hitanu kampi etena maggena tarinsu pubbe tarinsati ye chataranti ugati nibbana gacchati tasma ekayanuti vadanti. So what it is basically? So it is the one path, the path of Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta, that is the Ekayano Maggo. And why do one need to go on this path? What are the benefits? What are the results of going on this path? So the first is Sattanam for 7 purifications. Sattanam Visuddhiya. Second is Soka Paridevanam Samatti Kamaya, to overcome grief and lamentation. Fourth is Dukkha. Fifth is Domanassanam. Dukkha Domanassanam Athangamaya, for removing bodily suffering and mental suffering. And sixth is Nyayasya Adhigamaya, attaining path of truth. Nyaya is to know, knowledge and understanding. Through this path we can attain. And the seventh is Nibbanassa Sachikiriyaya, directly realizing Nibbana. So those who want to go to Nibbana should go by the Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna way. So the commentary Vishuddhi Magga also mentions the Sattanang Visuddhiya in this way, 7 stages of purification. Sila Visuddhi, Chitta Visuddhi, Ditti Visuddhi, Kankha Vitarana Visuddhi, Magga Magga Jnana Dasana Visuddhi, Patipada Jnana Dasana Visuddhi, Jnana Dasana Visuddhi. So the purification of conduct, purification of mind, purification of view, purification by overcoming doubt, purification by knowledge and vision of what is path and what not, purification by knowledge and vision of the course of practice, purification by knowledge and vision. So these are the 7 stages of purification. So these are the 7 purifications: Raga Dihi, attachment; Malehi, Abhijja, Visamalobadihi; Upakilesehi, and Kilitha Chittanang. So to get purification from all of this, from attachment, from impurity, covetousness, disharmony, greed, defilement, becoming soiled, stained. So the Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta is the great mindfulness focusing on the 4 places of body, feeling, mind, and the Dhamma, or the mental content. The 4 foundations of mindfulness are Yadidam Chattaro Satipatthana, Kai Kayanupassi Viharati, Vedana, okay, Vedanasu Vedananupassi Viharati, Chitte Chittanupassi Viharati, Dhammesu Dhammanupassi Viharati, Atapi Sampajano Satima, Vineya Loke Abhijja Domanasan. So here we look at what is Atapi Sampajano Satima. Atapi Sampajano Satima. We focus Kaya by Sati. So Sati is the main for practice, mindfulness. But practice only by Sati is not possible. So we need Virya, effort. So Atapi is equated to Virya. Atapi means Virya, effort. Now, Vedana is to know feelings. 3 types of Vedana or 5 types of Vedana. As it is Sampajano, it is to know completely. Satima, without Sati there is no meditation. And Vineya means to remove. Loke, in this world, Abhijja do manassanam, lobe and dose. Whenever there is Abhijja means lobe, do manasa means dose. So wherever there is lobe and dose, there is also moha. So why we need to remove lobe, dose, moha? Because it is because of lobe that which dominates our mind, and all the problems that we have in our life arise from this aspect of lobe, the second noble truth actually. Further, if you want to see what Atapi Virya is in a little more details, it is basically that with Virya, we are able to practice. Without Virya, we cannot practice, we cannot study. Without Virya, we cannot do anything. So because if there is less Virya, then we may not be able to move ahead. All these activities of sleeping and other things like Nimitta and all that arise because of the Virya. Therefore, we need Sati and Virya. So if there is less of Sati, then less of Virya. Sampajano is awareness of Kaya after observing, arising and passing away. So it comes after Virya, after Atapi. With Virya, with efforts, we can move to Sampajano, awareness of Kaya. And Kaya Vedana, that is Namarup to Namarup. And the Vedana, which we see, are Sukh, Dukh, whichever, Do Manasa, So Manasa, they come. We look at it from Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta. And that is how from Sampajano comes Sati, Satima. So the third one should be Satima. So Sati, Virya, we get Sampajano and we get Samadhi. And from Satima, complete awareness, all three are then repeated for all the four aspects of foundations. The Kaya, Vedana, Chitta and Dhamma. So Kaya Nupasti Viharati. Now, when we are talking about the first factor, Kaya, we can see that the development of the Sati, the concentration, is the most significant one. That is development of concentration through mindfulness of breathing. So here we have two examples. One is of taming a wild bull or a calf, taming a wild bull. Here, the comparison is given in such a way that now suppose a cowherd wants to tame a wild calf, and it is all moving around wildly. So how does he do that? So he ties the calf with a rope and ties the rope to the post, a particular post. So now, what happens is, in the beginning, the calf would move around very actively, trying to move away from the pole, from the tied pole, but at the end, it so happens that he's not able to do so, and then tired, or maybe he quiets down and settles down. So here, when we are saying, just as a man who tames a calf would tie it to a post, so should one be mindful like that, like a calf, like a person, a Naro, who has tied the calf to the pole. So here the calf means it is our mind. Our mind is like that, like the bull, and it is taming of this mind. So this is how we should be developing that how favorable it is. So the rope here is the Sati, and the calf is our Chitta, and the post is the object of meditation, Aramana. So that is how a wild calf, taming of a wild calf, is like taming our mind. So to the meditation object. Another example of Sati that is given in the commentary is a bhikkhu is compared to a leopard, and just as a great leopard, he lurks in the wilderness, in the grass, looking out to seize his prey or his wild beast. It may be a deer, a bull, or so on. And so the bhikkhu who devotes himself to mindfulness in the forest is understanding and seizing, acquiring the path of stream entry, like Sotapanna, Sakdagami, Anagami, Arantaship, and so on. So here it is said, for as leopard by his lurking seizes the beast, so also will this Buddha's son, with insight gifted, streenness, by his retreating to the forest, seize the highest fruit of all. So here the Buddha is then talking about the awareness, the Sati in these two aspects. So first we find, out of the four Satipatthana, Kayanu Pasti Viharati. So the bhikkhu dwells here ardent with awareness. we saw that atapi sampajano satima. And then constant through understanding of impermanence, anicca, observes the body. And then having removed craving and aversion, abhijja, domanassa. And then towards the mind and matter, towards the world, the outer and inner world. Similarly, we have vedanasu vedananupassi viharati. So observing sensations in sensations. Chitte chittanupassi viharati, observing mind in mind. And dhammesu dhammanupassi viharati, observing mental contents in mental contents. And therefore, these four foundations of mindfulness. The recollections, all of these four. So here we have the Kayanupassana, the second section, the observation of body, Anapanapabang, section on respiration. Kathanchapana bhikkhave bhikkhu kaye kayanupassi viharati idha bhikkhave bhikkhu aranya gatova rukkhamula gatova sunyagara gatova. So this is talking about how to do Kayanupassana. So aranya is the forest, rukkhamula is the root of a tree. Rukha is a tree. And Sunyagara is an empty place, a secluded place. Here it can also mean an enclosed space which is away. So this is about the place. Second is Nisidati Palankang Abhujitva. So sitting with crossed leg. Ujung Kayang Panidhaya. With Ujung is straight body, with straight body, with upright body. Parimukhang Sating Uparthitva. Focusing on mindfulness. So satova asasati, satova pasasati. And then mindfulness of breathing. So this is about how to do Kayanupassana. We will see how we are looking at this. So we see that in Kayanupassana, the first is the place. Nisidati and Ujung Kaya is the posture, and the practice is Parimukhang Sating Uparthitva, so Satova Sasati Satova. So these are the three things that are mentioned here in Kayanupassana. Practice meditation in a suitable place. So all bhikkhus who are considered as bhikkhus here, who are to the sutta and who practice the. So they are. How do we go about? So first is sitting crossed leg, straight body, and where is the mindfulness? It is Parimukhang Sati Uparthitva. So what is Parimukhang Sati Uparthitva? And we will look at that. So let us see the first part here. So the Blessed One, the Buddha, says Aranya Gatova. So from there we look at it, going to the forest, any kind of forest, possessing a bliss of seclusion. It has to be a secluded place. And then this is mentioned in the Pati Samhita and in details that a forest abode, how it is, how it should be, the root of a tree, how it should be, and an empty place, a secluded place. So there are some 9 places also mentioned here regarding the abodes, the 9 kinds of abodes. Are the forest and the root of a tree, already mentioned, and a rock, a hill cleft, a mountain cave, a charnel ground, a jungle thicket, an open space, a heap of straw. In the hot season, usually, or in the hot season, the forest is a favorable place for meditation. It was so considered, as mentioned in the Majjhima Nikaya. And in the cold season, the root of a tree is said to be a suitable place. In the rainy season, an empty place is said to be a suitable place. And even for different types of people, like people or chariya of lobha charita, dosa charita, moha charita, like a person with having a temperament, like a deluded temperament, moha charita. For such kind of person, a forest was preferred place. And for one of those temperament, the root of the tree was considered to be the suitable place. And for a greedy temperament, an empty place. For a raga charita person, an empty place was considered to be a suitable place. So this is again mentioned in the Vishuddhi Magga. So in having taken such a position, such a place, how does one go ahead? So again, as indicated, the place has to be suitable to 3 seasons, suitable to the temperament, and favorable to the development of mindfulness of breathing. And then a person sits down. So what is the kind of posture that a person needs to take? The Buddha here suggests that any position is okay, but what the Buddha suggests for getting samadhi, for the development of meditation, the best position is the position which is sitting cross-legged with a straight, erect posture, with backbone, indicating that the posture is peaceful. And when one is sitting in a cross-legged position, one should be comfortable in that position, firm in the sitting position. There should be easy in breath and out breath, easy to breathe, and easy for the air to flow through the lungs and through the through our body. We should be comfortable, and so even the body, it should be erect, straight, and the upper part of the body with the 18 backbones resting end to end. So comfortable, so that when we are seated like this, the skin, the flesh, and the sinews are not twisted. And so the feelings would arise moment by moment. Mind becomes unified and towards the meditation subject. And one can find growth quickly in this kind of position. That is Ujunkaya Paritaya. So this position is like a model, like a person, an army person who carries himself straight and erect. So that is the kind of example we can see to have a good posture for meditation. Then so how does one practice establishing mindfulness in establishing mindfulness? In which way? Parimukhang sati upaṭṭhāpetva. Having placed mindfulness, sati, facing the meditation subject, kammatthana abhimukham. So, as given in the Patisambhida, pari, it means parigaha, mukham, the surrounding, or it means sense of control that one has. It is in, and then sati also is the establishment, upaṭṭhāna. So that is how we can say parimukham satim upaṭṭhāpetva. So here we see Parimukhang Sati Upaṭṭhāpetva is Parimukhang two types. One is Nasika Eka. So that is the tip of the nose, one place on the nose. And second is Mukha Samipa Mukha. So that is the upper lip. So how do we see this? So usually people in India, when they have long noses, so one can feel the breath, the breathing on the tip of the nose comfortably with few people. So for them, it is Nasika Eka. For those for whom during meditation, they feel the breath on the upper lip. So that is Mukha Samipa Mukha, upper lip. So how do we see the process of breathing here? Ever mindful, he breathes in. Mindful, he breathes out. This is said in the Patisamvida. Mindfully, he breathes in. Mindfully, he breathes out. So this is how he works. The bhikkhu working on the practicing, he works in this way, being mindful of the in-breath and the out-breath. Kaya Sankharang Asisami. That is Anapana, describing the Anapana. So we can see here a section on Anapana, inhalation and exhalation. That is Kayanupassana Anapana Pabbam. So Kathanchapana Bhikkave Bhikkhu Kai Kayanupassi Viharati. So Satova Ida Bhikkave Bhikkhu. So Satova Assa Sati Satova Passa Sati. Dighang va Assa Santo Dighang Assa Samiti Pajanati. Dighang va Passa Santo Dighang Passa Samiti Pajanati. Rassang va Assa Santo Rassang Assa Samiti Pajanati. Rassang va Passa Santo Rassang Passa Samiti Pajanati. Sabba Kaya Pati Samvedi Assa Samiti Sikkhati. Sabba Kaya Pati Samvedi Passa Samiti Sikkhati. Pasambhayam Kaya Sankharang Assa Samiti Sikkhati. Pasambhayam Kaya Sankharang Passa Samiti Sikkhati. So what is this? What does it mean? So this is basically Anapana, that the bhikkhu is the bodily activity means, the practice means the Anapana of the Bhante, of the bhikkhu. And how does it go about? If the breath is in, then say, okay, the breath is in. I am breathing in. If breathing out, say, oh, I am breathing out. If the breathing is long, extended, then she says, yes, this is long breath. I am breathing in long breath. So herein, breathing in long, Assa Santo, is producing a long in-breath. Asas is the wind is doing out, and Passas is the wind entering in. Now this is mentioned in the Vinaya Pitaka. However, in the commentary, in the Suttanta commentary, it is given in the opposite direction or opposite sense. Here in the Sutta commentary, when any infant comes out from the mother's womb, first the wind from within goes out, and subsequently the wind from without enters in with fine dust. So firstly is how Asasa and Passasa should be understood. So the length and shortness, the next thing to be understood. In terms of extent, length means how long, what is the extent, the adhana. So if we want to understand the long and short breath, then just as water or sand that occupies an extent of space is called long water or long sand, short water or short sand. So in case of elephants, snakes, their bodies, the in-breath and out-breath regarded as long extent. In other words, they are persons and slowly go, so they have a long breath and slowly they breathe. So that is why they are called long. They rapidly fill a short extent. In other words, a person of like a small animal, like a dog, hare, rapidly go out again. So their breath goes out quickly. So that is, they have short breath. And in the case of human beings, some breathe in and breathe out long. So like elephants and snakes, while some breathe in and breathe out short, like dogs, hares, and so on. Sometimes a person breathes in long, sometimes a person breathes in short. So it is the travel, how far the breath is traveling, how long the breath is traveling is the extent that one understands. And the bhikkhu, a meditator, a practitioner, when he sees this, that I am breathing in and breathing out long. So I am breathing in long and I am breathing out long. So that is the development of the mindfulness on the contemplation of the body. Further, in understanding the contemplation of the body, we see that bodily activity means anapan. And it is this bodily activity. So that is what is mentioned here, Sabba Kaya Pati Samvedi. Sabba Kaya Pati Samvedi, here the Kaya means air. And Sabba Kaya means Asasakaya and Pasasakaya. In-breath and out-breath, air. Adi, Majje and Paryosana. So in the beginning, Adi is in the beginning of the breath. Majje is the middle. So like if we see that the breath is until the navel, then the Adi, then the center, Majje, middle would be somewhere close to the heart, and Paryosana, that means outside. So beginning, middle and end. So that is how we understand the Sabba Kaya Pati Samvedi. That is how one should understand the beginning, middle and the end. So that is Sabba Kaya Pati Samvedi. So in this way, the bodily activity of Anapana, slowly with practice, one develops a peace of mind. If the mind is peaceful, the body is also peaceful. And Anapana becomes very subtle. Like whether we are having breath or not, one is not able to know whether the breath is there or not there. And finally, through the practice, breathing in and breathing out, long in breaths and out breaths, they become more subtle. And a kind of that peace that comes in, there is gladness. So that is the pasambhaya of the body. So peace and a kind of gladness that comes in with peace, with practice. So this is the establishment of mindfulness and the contemplation of knowledge of establishing of mindfulness. The knowledge comes to us that this is how mindfulness is established in the body. This mindfulness is called the foundation or upatthana. This is the upatthana. Since it approaches upagantva, it approaches the object of meditation and remains tithati there. It remains on the object of meditation. So we say upattha pitva. And the contemplation of knowledge, the contemplation of science by means of serenity, peace, that is the sign, that is the knowledge. The contemplation of mentality and materiality, that is peace in mind, peace in body. By defining the inside and the in-breath, the out-breath, and the body. And the body is establishment. There is that body and mindfulness approaches it by making it its object and remains there. And therefore, the body is the establishment foundation. So this body and mindfulness approaches it by making it its object and remains there, and therefore is called established. The compound Satipaṭṭhāna is derived by the Patisambhida from Sati and Upatthana. Sati is mindfulness and Upatthana is establishment. So this information comes from the Patisambhida and also mentioned in the Visuddhimagga. So here further is mentioned about the Iriya Pathabang, Kayanupassana, Iriya Pathabang, contemplation of the body and the bodily postures. So contemplation means again observing the bodily postures. So punachaparang bhikkave bhikkhu gacchanto va gacchami ti pajanati. Thito va thitomi ti pajanati. Nisinno va nisinnomi ti pajanati. Sayano va sayanomi ti pajanati. Yatha yatha va pannasakayo panihito hoti tatha tatha nang pajanati. So here again, monks, a monk while he is walking understands properly, I am walking. While he is standing, he understands properly, I am standing. While he is sitting, he understands properly, I am sitting. While he is lying down, he understands properly, I am lying down. In whichever position he disposes his body, he understands it properly. Again, further, we see Bhikkhu Abhikante Patikante Sampajanakari Hoti. Alokite Vilokite Sampajanakari Hoti. Samanjite Pasarite Sampajanakari Hoti. Sanghati Pattachivara Dharane Sampajanakari Hoti. Asite Pite Khaite Saite Sampajanakari Hoti. Uchchara Pasavakamme Sampajanakari Hoti. Gate, Thite, Nisinne, Sutte, Jagarite, Bhasite, Tunhi Bhave, Sampajanakari Hoti. So here, what further? The bhikkhu, while going forward or backward, he does so with constant, thorough understanding of impermanence. Whether he is looking straight ahead, looking sideways, he does so with constant, thorough understanding of impermanence. While he is bending or stretching, he does so with constant and thorough understanding. Whether wearing his robes, carrying bowl, whether he's eating, drinking, chewing, savoring, while attending to the cause of nature, while whether he's walking, standing, sleeping, or waking, speaking, or in silence, he does so with constant, thorough understanding of impermanence. The next section on Kayanupassana is Patikula Mansikara Pabbam. That is the reflection on repulsiveness, or we can say Asubha, contemplation on Asubha Sanya for that matter. So here, Bhikkhu contemplates on the 32 parts of the body, that is the Asubha Sanya. So here it is, Punachaparang Bhikkhave Bhikkhu Imameva Kayam Uddhang Padatala Adho Kesamattaka Tacha Paryantam Purang Nanapakkarasa Asuchino Pachavekati. So here, what are those things that the bhikkhu contemplates on or reflects on? A monk reflects on this very body that is covered with skin, full of impurities of all kinds, from the soles of the feet upward, and from the hair of the head downwards. Considering this, Atti imasmin kaye kesa loma nakha danta tacho mansang naru atti attiminjang vakang hadayang yakanang kilomakang pihakang pafasakang antang antagunang udariyang karisang ittang semhang pupo lohitang sedo medo asu vasa keo singhanka lasika muttanti. So these are the 32 parts of the body which are mentioned in the Tipitaka that the Buddha has at that time informed, and how they are in full of impurities. So right from the head to the toes. So in this body there are hairs of the head, hairs of skin, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, marrow, kidney, heart, liver, pleura, spleen, lungs, intestines, mesentery, stomach with its contents, fecus, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, saliva, nasal mucus, synovial fluid, and urine. So these are all mentioned, and how to see them, how to see this, observe all of this. It is the Asubha Sanya. Next, there is the next section on the Nava Sivatika Pabbang. Now this Nava Sivatika Pabbang basically is seeing a dead body. How the dead body behaves, or how naturally the dead body it looks like after 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, swollen, blue, festering regarding one's own body also. Then the practitioner, the bhikkhu, considers like this: indeed, this body is of the same nature. It will become like that and cannot escape from becoming like that. So this is about the Asubha Sanya of how the body decays. And then further we have the Vedananupassana, the observation of the senses. So the Kayanupassana chapter or section is over here, and we have the Vedananupassana. So in Vedananupassana, this is basically the most important aspect. In fact, when we go to Guruji Goenka meditation, it is the Vedananupassana that is primarily focused on. The main focus is on Vedananupassana for most part of the practice. So even in the translation, the focus is given more on the Vedananupassana. So observing the senses. So we know that Kathang chapana bhikkhave bhikkhu vedanasu vedananupassi viharati. How monks does a monk dwell observing sensations and sensations? So idha bhikkhave bhikkhu sukhang va vedanang vedayamano sukhang vedanang vedayami. Basically, here monks, while experiencing a pleasant sensation, understands properly, I am experiencing a pleasant sensation. While experiencing an unpleasant sensation, understands properly, I am experiencing an unpleasant sensation. So, like for all of the Vedana, for all of the sensations, like we know that there are basically three sensations of the body. It is pleasant, unpleasant, sukha, dukkha, and neutral sensations. And same for the mind, we have five other sensations like somanasa, domanasa, adukha, asukha sensations. So when we are looking at these five sensations, basically the neutral sensations are the adukha, asukha sensations. So all of these five sensations, when we are looking at, when the practitioner is looking at, so sukhang va vedanam vedayamano sukhang vedanam vedayamiti vajanati. So that is how I am experiencing a pleasant sensation, while experiencing a pleasant sensation. A bhikkhu understands properly that I am experiencing a pleasant sensation. Next, we see the Chittanupassana, the contemplation of the mind. So here again, we have various subsections to it. No, the Chittanupassana, we have just one section of this Chittanupassana, I'm sorry. So in Chittanupassana, we see the behavior of our Chitta, whether it is Raga, that is attachment, akusala Chitta of Lobha, or Dosa, that is of aversion, ill will, or we see that the Chitta is of Moha. So whether the Chitta is with Raga or without Raga, with Lobha or without Lobha, with Dosa or without Dosa, with Moha or without Moha. Further, also we see that Sankhitang va Chittang Sankhitang Chittanti Pajanati, and so on and so forth. So in this Chittanupassana, a monk understands properly mind with a craving mind, that this is a mind with a craving mind. Understands properly mind free from craving mind, so that this is a mind free from craving. Understands properly that a mind with aversion, a mind without aversion, a mind or free from aversion. Understands properly a mind with delusion and a mind free from delusion. A mind properly collected, a mind scattered, mind that is expanded, mahagata, and a mind that is unexpanded, a mind that is surpassable, sautarang, unsurpassable, anuttarang, mind well concentrated, samahitam, and a mind unconcentrated, asamahitam. And a bhikkhu understands properly freed mind as a freed mind, understands properly an unfreed mind, not a freed mind, as not a freed mind. Next we see Dhammanupassana. In Dhammanupassana, here we see Nivarana Papam. Nivarana basically are these: Kamachanda, Vyapada, Thina Midda, Vichikichi, Udacha. So basically Nivarana are the obstructions or hindrances. So Kamachanda is the obstruction of sense desire. Vyapada is the obstruction of aversion. Thina Midda of sloth and torpor. Udacha Kukacha of restlessness, basically agitation and remorse. And Vichikicha is of doubt. So a bhikkhu, whenever a sense desire is present, Kamchanda is present in him, he understands properly that sense desire is present in me. Whenever sense desire is absent from him, he understands properly that sense desire is absent from me. He understands properly how sense desire that has not arisen in him comes to arise, understands properly how sense desire that has now arisen in him gets eradicated. He understands properly how sense desire that has now been eradicated will in future no longer arise in him, and so on with Vyapada, Thina-middha, Udacha-kukacha, and Vichikicha too. So, understanding how the five Nivarna, how they arise, how they pass away. Next section is again on Dhammanupassana, Khanda Pabam. So, Khanda are basically the Panchupadana Khanda here. Rupam, Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana. So, these are Upadana Khandesu, that is, 5 aggregates of clinging. So, here again, a monk dwells observing mental contents in mental contents. As regards the 5 aggregates of clinging, a monk dwells observing mental contents in mental contents, that is Dhamma, understanding the Dhamma. Same way, the monk dwells observing the Vedana, the Samudaya, Vedanaya Samudaya. So, how the Vedana is causing to accumulate, how Sanya, perception, causing to accumulate, how Sankhara, that is mental formations, and consciousness causing. So here a monk understands properly, such is matter, such is the arising of matter, such is the passing away of matter. So arising is Uday Bay. So arising of matter, passing away is Orkhay for that matter. Then same with sensations. Such is the arising of sensation, such is the passing away of sensations. Such is the arising of perception, such is the passing away of perception. Such is the arising of consciousness, mental formations, and such is the passing away of mental formations. Such is the arising of consciousness, such is the passing away of consciousness. Thus, a bhikkhu dwells observing the mental contents internally and externally. Next is the chasu, ayatana. Okay, the ayatana, 6 ayatana or 6 sense spheres. So 6 sense spheres are the chakku, sota, ghana, jivha. Chakku, sota, ghana, jivha, kaya, and so here we see 5. Okay, 6. Mind. Mind is also one of them. Thoughts. So we see. Okay, here I have not written the mind part. Kaya has come 2 times over here. Okay, that is why. All right. So, Unachaparang bhikkhave bhikkhu dhammesu dhammanupassi viharati chasu ajatika bahiresu ayanatesi. So, here we look at how to see. So, dikthe diktha mataya diktesi. Just to follow the practice as it is. Just to see as it is. Observe the mental contents as they are. Ida bhikkave chakhu chakkhum cha pajanati. Rupe cha pajanati. Yancha tadubhayang paticca upajjati. Sanyojanang tang cha pajanati. Yatha cha anupanassa sanyojanassa uppado hoti tancha pajanati. Yatha cha upanassa sanyojanassa pahanang hoti tancha pajanati. Yatha cha pahinassa sanyojanassa ayating anuppado hoti tancha pajanati. So here a monk understands properly the I. He understands properly the visible object. And he understands properly the bondage that arises dependent on these two. He understands properly how the bondage that is not yet arisen comes to arise. He understands properly how the bondage that has now arisen gets eradicated. He understands properly how that bondage that has now been eradicated will in future no longer arise. So this with the form, with the rupa, same a bhikkhu with the other ayatana of sota, that is the ear, and of ghana, the nose, jivha, the tongue, kaya, the body, and mind, manam. Manan cha pajanati, dhamme cha pajanati. So the fifth, I'm sorry about that. The sixth one should be manang cha pajanati. So I have written here 2 times kayan cha pajanati. So it should be manan cha pajanati, the 6th one. So this is how a monk, a bhikkhu, looks at his ayatana, the practice of dikta, dikthamataya, diktesi. So this is how a bhikkhu practices and dwells observing the dhamma in dhamma. So the dhamma are the eye, chakhu. The next section is bhikkhu dhammesu dhammanupassi viharati sattasu bhujangesu. So bhujangesu is the factors of enlightenment. So these are the 7 factors of enlightenment. One is the sati sambojhanga. Second is the dhamma vichaya. Third virya. 4th piti. 5 pasadhi. 6 samadhi, and 7 upekha. Okay. So these are the 7 sambojhanga. Here again, the bhikkhu dwells observing mental contents, the dhamma as regards the 7 factors. The factor of sati sambojjhanga is the factor of enlightenment of awareness. The factor of dhamma vichay sambojjhanga is the factor of investigation of dhamma. Third is the factor of virya, effort. Fourth is the factor of piti, rupture. Fifth is the factor of tranquility, pasaddhi. And sixth is of concentration, samadhi. Seventh is the factor of equanimity. So these are also the factors of like piti, sukh, samadhi, upekha. Okay, these are also the factors of, these are also called jhanantas also. Next is Dhammanupassana Satchipabanga. So the Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta here is further describing Chatusu Ariya Satchesu. So the Buddha finally talks about the knowledge of 4 noble truths, explaining the 4 noble truths as the in the path, in the Ekayano Maggo, as the ultimate path. So the section on 4 noble truths, that is the Satchipabanga, states that Kathanchapana bhikkhave bhikkhu dhammesu dhammanupassi viharati chatusu ariya satchesu. How monks does a monk dwell observing mental contents in mental contents as regards the 4 noble truths? So how does one see the 4 noble truths? Idha bhikkave bhikkhu idam dukkhanti yatha bhutang pajanati. Ayam dukkhang samudayoti yatha bhutang pajanati. Ayam dukkha nirodhati yatha bhutang pajanati. Ayam dukkha nirodha gamini patipadati yatha bhutang pajanati. So a bhikkhu understands properly as it is. This is suffering. He understands properly as it is. This is the arising of suffering. Understands properly as it is the cessation of suffering. And understands properly as it is the path leading to the cessation of suffering. So the first one is dukkha satcha niddeso. So that this is the first noble truth, the exposition of the truth of suffering. That jatipi dukkha, jarapi dukkha, vyadhipi dukkho, dukkha, maranampi dukkhang, soka parideva dukkado manasupayasa, pi dukkha, appiyehi sampayogopi dukkho, piyehi vippayogopi dukkho, yam pichang na labhati tampi dukkhang, sankitena panchapadana khanda dukkha. So describing what dukkha is in these 7 things basically. That the birth is suffering, old age is suffering, sickness is suffering, death is suffering, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, distress are suffering. The association with something that one does not like is suffering. Dissociation with something that one likes is suffering. Not to get what one desire is suffering. In short, the clinging to the 5 aggregates, the Panchupadana Khanda, is suffering. So, the Panchupadana Khanda of Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vinyana. So this is the clinging to all of these is suffering. Further, in the Dukkha Satcha Niddeso, what is Jati, what is Jara, what is Marana is explained in details. Jati, Jara, Maranam, Sokha, Parideva, Dukkha, Do, Manasa, Upayasa, and Appiyehi sampayogo, Piyehi vippayogo, Yam pichang na labhati tampi dukkhang, sattanang, evan ichha upachati. So finally, in beings who are subject to old age and desire arises, oh, truly, that we were not subject to old age. Oh, truly, may we not be subject to old age. So, but this cannot be obtained by mere desire, just by wishing that I should not attain old age, I should not attain sickness, I should not attain death, is not just by desire. One cannot get out of it. So the next thing is samudaya satya nirdeso, exposition on the truth of the arising of suffering. So understanding the knowledge to know how the suffering is arising through this whole practice. Yavan tanha ponubhavika nandiraga sahagata tatra tatrabhinandini seyathidam kama tanha bhava tanha vibhava tanha. So it is this craving that occurs again and again and is bound up with pleasure and lust, finds delight here and now. That is the craving for sensual pleasures, the craving for repeated birth, rebirth, and the craving for annihilation. So all of this, these cravings, that is the second noble truth. A bhikkhu understands all of this through the rupa loka, through the chakku vinyana, understanding or through the process, through the path. And then in detail, all explanation is provided in the sutta of chakku sampha. So how when a form is the image of a form, when the eye touches the image, and how one can see things, how can the practice of Satipatthhāna Sutta help us in eradication of our kileshas, defilements. And finally, the Nirodha Satya. No, this is the third noble truth, the Nirodha Satya, exposition of the truth of the cessation of suffering. So, yo tassaiva tanhaya asesa viraga nirodho chago patinisargo mutti analayo sakho panesa bhikkave tanha niruchati yang loke piya rupam sata rupam ethe satanha pahiyamana pahiyati etha nirodha mana niruchati. So it is the complete fading away and cessation of this very craving, forsaking it and giving it up, the liberation from it, leaving no place for it. But where may this craving be eradicated? Where may it be extinguished? Wherever in the world of mind and matter there is something enticing and pleasurable, there this craving may be eradicated and extinguished. So again, explaining about the eradication of the craving, and finally we see the Magga Satya Nirdeso, the fourth noble truth, exposition on the truth of the path. So this is about it, the eightfold path of Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappo, Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanto, Samma Ajivo, Samma Vayamo, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi. So in the Magga Satya Nirdeso, the exposition of the truth of the path, Katamang cha bhakkavi, Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Patipada Arya Satchang, Ayameva Aryo Attangiko Maggo, Seyathidang, Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappo, Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanto, Samma Ajivo, Samma Vayamo, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi. So, and what, monks, is the noble truth for the path leading to the cessation of suffering? It is this, the noble eightfold path, namely, right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right awareness, and right concentration. In this sutta, the Buddha begins with the atapi sampajano, right effort to get right concentration. So then is explained the path, and the Buddha says, Idam Vucchati Bhikkhave Dukkha Nirodhagamini Patipada Ariya Satcham. This, monks, is the noble truth and the path leading to the cessation of suffering. And finally, the Satipaṭṭhāna Bhavana Nisanso. Yo hi kochi bhikkave ime chattaro satipaṭṭhāne evam bhaveya saptavasani tassa dvinang phalanang anyattarang phalang patikankhang ditteva dhamme anya sati va upadisesa anagamita. So, indeed, monks, whoever practices this fourfold establishing of awareness in this manner for 7 years, he may expect one of two results. In this very life, highest wisdom, or of a substratum of aggregates remains, the stage of non-returner, anagami. So whoever practices for 7 years in this very life attains the stage of non-returner. Or one can say that if not 7 years, 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, or even 7 months, 6 months, 5 months, 4 months, 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, or half a month, should any person practice this fourfold establishing of awareness in this manner for 7 days, one of two results may be expected of him. In this very life, highest wisdom, or if substratum of aggregates remain, the stage of non-returner. It is for this reason that it was said, this is the one and only way, monks, for the purification of beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, for the extinguishing of suffering and grief, for walking on the path of truth, for the realization of Nibbana. That is to say, the fourfold establishing of awareness. Ekayano ayam bhikkave maggo sattanam visuddhya soka paridevanam samattikamaya dukkado manassanam attangamaya nyayasya adhigamaya nibbanasya satchikiriyaya yadidam chattaro satipaṭṭhāna ti iti yang tang buddhang idametang paticca uttanti. Thus the enlightened one spoke. Glad in heart, the bhikkhus welcome the words of the Buddha. End of the Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta, that is Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Suttam Nitthhitam. So this is about the sutta. As we see that this sutta, the location of the Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta in the Digha Nikaya, its style, it is like the Buddha is in the Uddesa talking about the what for the sutta is. If one wishes to attain Nibbana, this is the only way to attain Nibbana, the Buddha says. So this is the heart of the Dhamma practice of Vipassana. Through the fourfold establishments and attaining the noble truths. Through the realization of anicca, dukkha, anatta. So we have seen the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta taught to the 5 ascetics who were advanced on the spiritual path, and therefore the Buddha spoke about the eightfold path and leading to realization of Four Noble Truths in the Dhammacakkappavattana. So kind of even this sutta, Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta, is also in the same direction of the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, and the Four Noble Truths. So the Mangala Sutta was taught to the Devas, we saw, to the Brahma, Mara, and all about the moral, social constitution, again ultimately leading to the realization of Nibbana. In the Sigaluvat Sutta, it was the householders' duties primarily. Again, for both in this world and the next world, how even a householder can go closer to the path, eightfold path towards Nibbana. And the Brahmajala Sutta, wherein there were 62 wrong views. So the Buddha suggested how we should live our life, eradicating, staying away from the mithyanity of the 62 wrong views through a philosophy, teaching, idea, culture. And therefore, if we are not following any of the mithyadities, then it means we are on the right path. And Samaya Phala Sutta here is again how the Buddha is explaining to King Ajatasattu, who is not even an upasaka, and explaining about the monk life and the result of monk life, explaining about how to see the benefits, the results, how a householder or a layman can see the benefits, giving similes and metaphors of this lokiya, this world, and explaining it to Ajatasattu. And Ajatasattu becomes the upasaka, sponsors the Pathama Samiti. And in the Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta, in fact, we also, in the Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta also, we are talking about Nibbana here, and as a heart of the Dhamma practice, the practice of Vipassana, with the fourfold mindfulness. So, from time immemorial, Buddhas, Arhats, Aryas, all have realized Nibbana through this one way, Ekayano Maggo, and it is the highway leading to Nibbana. And thank you so much. And that is all I have to say today. And I would like to say sorry in case there are any mistakes from my side, because this is a very deep and profound sutta, and therefore the right knowledge and right understanding is required, which even I am trying to learn. So I would ask for your apologies in case I have made any mistakes, any wrong during this study, the sutta study. So thank you so much, and and I would request Bhante to provide Bhante's comment. Thank you so much.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So again, today we are going reach on the Himalaya Mount, because this is the highest discourse. So presented doing her presentation very much, carefully by the mindfulness, because this sutta is very famous. This is a scholar area, many scholar around the world. The awareness, they touch by their knowledge. So basically, So like this, Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta is belong to the scholars, scholar who know properly language and has experience. So now Upasika Vaishali, she trying to touch like this great discourse. Yeah, well, why she touch, but she want to give message, Buddha message from the literature. We notice presentation in this Dhammagos. We never put our own ideas and then out of it some idea. So trying to show as it is a message from the Tipitaka. We believe in present time Tipitaka Vinaya Sutta Abhidhamma literature is only Buddha Vachana. So Buddha Vachana means Buddha. In present time, we can find Buddha Vachana, okay, Buddha message. This is Tipitaka. Okay, apart from Tipitaka, so we cannot say this is a Buddha idea, Buddha, message. So trying to share Buddha message to the people from here presentation. So she also maybe afraid to touch this great subject. I also remind to her, please carefully. This is very big subject, very big subject. If there's some mistake, idea, mistake, presentation coming, maybe some has a problem there because of the subject is everywhere available. Book also, presentation also, scholar also available everywhere. So anyway, our idea, our wish is to sharing. This is the original message. So even though commentator Mahabodhghosha, so when he were definition, explanation about paticca samuppada, avijja vissa sankhara, sankhara vissa. At the time, he thinking about himself. Okay, this subject is belong to the Buddha, belong to the Sabinyuda knowledge. So, how possible to establish about this paticca samuppada with the mind knowledge? So he said, my knowledge, I'm like a rabbit. Okay, sasa. So sasa cannot cross this ocean, cannot touch under ground ocean, because a rabbit very small, animal body. So Mahabodhghosha, he how to say, I'm like a rabbit, sasa. This is a paticca samuppada subject is like a samudra, how possible to cross, okay, how possible to touch. I don't know where it's end, where it's start. So such like this, Mahabodhghosha, even though Mahabodhghosha commentator, Bande also such like this feelings, he got it, okay. So other day he got a solution how to cross this samudra paticca samuppada. by the method technique from the Acharya. So I will explain about this Brichasmubhara, okay, by our teacher's method. Whatever face problem, difficulty regarding with this subject, so we can solve, we can get the solution from the Guru, Guru Naya. So Acharya Naya, Acharya, Mukti, Acharya, okay, technical method is very much the importance to cross, to analyze, classify. So any Dhamma discourse. So like this, Abhidhamma subject, we cannot study by our own way. We cannot study, our own knowledge without teacher, without guidance. Okay, need technique, need method to cross this subject, because Abhidhamma subject is like the ocean, samudra, very deep, very wide. So is need power from the teacher, need the power teacher. That's why a lot of many scholars in each country, they cannot touch like this Abhidhamma subject, because they know any idea, technique, method, how to approach, this subject. So from that they are, teacher also they don't know. So that's why finally they cannot, touch like this subject. If the message, some mistake there, our practice also will be mistake, wrong way. So at the time, result also not coming, because of wrong message, wrong practice, and then result also not coming. So that's why priyati, so knowledge or literature, teaching, learning is very important to get this is original message, properly. Okay, so priyati there, from priyati we can get method, how to follow, how to practice. Okay, so this method also should be authentic, should be correct. Okay, without any mistake idea. So after the patipatti, we practice in meditation center, at home, anywhere, according to that message. Okay, so message, how much important for our life to get liberation. So priyati is based on the patipatti, and the patipatti is based on the pativeda. So to realize, to understand about Magga Phala Nibbana. So this is the result come from proper practice. Okay, now it is so much the problem regarding with the meditation. So because of guidance, some the program message, the program, so who are Acharya, also give message, without without reference, without literatures. Okay, whatever they has idea, they have experience, they give a message to the people. Okay, So their message, who know right or wrong. This is a big problem for our, condition, our condition. Nobody know, nobody able to check. This is a message come from where, okay, which is the reference, okay, who able to understand. So that's why Buddha also suggestion when you practice, meditation, need guru, a proper guru, go guidance, okay. So that's why guru means who know proper message according to Tipitaka, okay, according to literature. That's why literature message, okay, is very much the importance that is not possible, to know for everybody, to know everybody. We need time for study and again and again, okay, and then trying to study more and more, okay, trying to analyze more and more, compare with more and more, so to get the final authentic message, okay. After that, we should share, we should write, we should teach, we should talk. And then people accept like this proper message, they can, easy to practice. After that, they, able to gain, like mega flow. So Nirvana, Vaishali, we have guru, we have teacher, we have the, trying to get solution from our guru in our, environment. So we're trying to touch like this, a great subject. Our idea, our wish is to sharing like this, original message. So this is a great punya karma. This is a great job, a great work in our life. Okay, the whole samsara. So we spoke too much, regarding with everything, but nothing special. Nothing special. We do so much then in samsara, but nothing special. Okay. So in present time, in present life, we, like this spoke authentic message, authentic speak. This so that's why our life is very much the luckily. Okay, like this Dhammasicca coming to in our tongue. Okay, that's why so Buddha, up and down in our tongue. Buddha Vachana is going in our tongue, so our body. So that's why, our heart, our body is like Buddha Vihara. No, Buddha Vihara. Dhamma is in our heart. Okay, that's why Dhamma Vihara also. So that's why I want to say I very much appreciate, Upasika, why you touch, because this is the property is belong to the, who are son and daughters. Why I touch Viduma? Because I'm son of Buddha. This is the property is belong to me. So why you touch like this Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna discourse? This is a property is your part Buddha, property. So this is belong to the daughter of Buddha. Okay. So today you do, your duty. Okay. You are Judy, Buddha daughter Judy. Okay. So I want to say this is great work, great job. Okay. Everybody will be happy. Sabarasa, Dhamarasa, Jinadi, Sabarading, Dhamarading, Jinadi. Okay.
Sadhu, 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 Bhante. Thank you so much, Bhante.
We will open up the forum for question and answer now. Is that okay, Tai?
Yes, Pankaj. If Bhante is okay, yeah, we can proceed.
Yeah. We start over for question.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bhante. The first question is, how by realization of impermanence, how can we realize the noble truths?
By realization of impermanence, how can we realize the noble truth? Is that it?
Yeah. So, dukkha, anicca, dukkha, anatta. From realization of this, how do we reach to the noble truths?
Actually, when we are seeing the noble truth in all of the factors of nama and rupa, so we are seeing the noble truth in this foundation of nama and rupa. So the Satipatthana is basically the practice of mindfulness, awareness in the mind and body that we have. So we see in this mind and body, things are changing. Awareness about the complete practice, what we have seen about the Rupa, the Panchupada, Sanya, Sankhara, these five. And when we are contemplating on the, let's say, for example, when we are contemplating on the Vedana, because that is the common practice that we have of all of us, are doing. So when we are seeing Nam and Rup, our mind and body, with in awareness, we see the arising and passing away of Vedana in simple terms. So any Vedana which we have while meditating, while developing awareness, practice of awareness, we see that in that period of an hour that we are meditating, this is changing. The Vedana is changing. It is not same when in this moment, and then in another moment, and then in another moment. So this is the understanding of anicca. The arising and passing away is the knowledge of anicca. And if this is so, then there are other factors like that this is not me. So that we can see that this does not belong to my nama, my rupa, because it arises and passes away. It is no more there. After passing away, it is not there. We have seen that in the sutta while we read the text. We saw that once it is gone away, the bhikkhu realizes that it will not come back again. What has passed away has passed away. So this is anatta. So the first part, the first noble truth is the existence of dukkha. Like in seven points, Buddha has mentioned what is dukkha. Jatipi, jarapi, manampi, apiyehi sampayogo, Hi vipayogo, Sankitena Panchupadana Khanda. That means it is a totality. All dukkha is actually Sankitena Khanda dukkha. The 5 aggregates are dukkha. That is what Buddha said. And this is dukkha because they are not permanent. They change, they arise and they pass away. And therefore, when we have this understanding of the Panchupadana Khanda, our mind and body, changing mind and body is anicca. That is the first, we understand the first noble truth of suffering. And so on, we understand the second, why. Why is there dukkha? Because it is because of our behavior pattern and of accumulating, of lobha. Lobha is mentioned in the beginning itself, that it is abhijjhado manasa. Abhijja is the lobe here, is the lobe factor. And the second noble truth is lobe. So we see that it has the tendency of upadana, clinging and accumulating, samudaya. So the second noble truth, again, we realize. And the third, that there is a way out. There is a way out of this. Is the nibbana, and the fourth is the magga. It is through this way, through the way we see rightly. When we see suffering as changing, as anicca, dukkha, anatta, is the right way to see suffering by samadhi, by the eightfold noble path. And to know that we have seen the 62 michaditi about atta and loka. So realizing that this is not atta, this mind and body is not atta, this namru is not atta. So that is the samadhi, and therefore we see that realizing the Four Noble Truth through anicca, dukkha, anatta. So
thank you, Tai. Your next question is, can you comment a little more on Anapanasati and Anapana Bhavana? What is Anapanasati and Anapana Bhavana?
Yeah. So Anapanasati is again awareness of the in-breath and out-breath. Anapana is in-breath, out-breath and in-breath. It's the awareness. It is the awareness, the mindfulness of breathing in. I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. The length and the long and short. I know I am breathing in long when I'm breathing in long. I know I am breathing in short when I'm breathing short. So this is the awareness, the Anapanasati, being aware of in-breath and out-breath. And the bhavana is the continuous practice of knowing this, knowing or repeated practice of Anapanasati is the Anapana Bhavana. We will be doing the Anapanasati Sutta in the next class. So I think we can get more clarification in detail there.
Okay, thank you very much. Tai, can you comment a little more on Kayanupassana? For some people, the explanation was little hurried in. So can you make a little more comment on Kayanupassana?
Yeah, sure. So Kayanupassana basically Sankhara Passi. Basically, when we are looking at Kayanupassana, so it is the knowledge of in-breath and out-breath in our body. So here we see that again, it is we are meditating on the not just the body, but it is the air. So Sabbha Kaya, or we look at the asasa and pasasa of the kaya. That means it is we are looking at the air, the in-breath air and the out-breath air in the body. So that is Kayanupassana. That is one part of Kayanupassana. Kayanupassana is by various aspects. We have seen that Kayanupassana can be done by five things. Five in detail. I think I have to. Yeah, by five aspects, Kayanupassana can be done. It is by one is by breath, another is by once we do the Iriyapatha, that is the how we move, how the body moves. That is the other way. How when we are walking, we see that we are walking. When we are standing, when we are sitting, so we say that I am sitting, I am lying down. This is the way for the Iriyapatha, the posture, sitting in an erect way, and also the functions of the body that we do, especially of eating, drinking. So everything, when we are aware about all actions of the body, then that is again Kayanupassana. And then knowing that the body, that it is composed of the 32 parts of the body, and they are all filled with impurities. That is the reflection on the repulsiveness of the body, like the kesa, loma, nakha, danta, all these aspects, 32 aspects of the body, even that is Kayanupassana. And then the sixth thing we have is Nava Sivatika. Again, that is about the Asubha Sanya of the body, observing the body on its decay, how the body is decaying, a dead body for that matter, 1 day, 2 days, how the color changes, and other aspects that we see on the recollection of Asubhasaya in the body. So we have these 6 aspects of Kayanupassana basically, and again we have about like we already discussed about Khanda, the Ayatana, sense spheres, Khanda, the aggregates. So in Khanda again, we have the 6 internal and external Khanda, that is the Chakhu, Sota, Ghan, Jibha, Kaya, and Mana. So again, observing the actions, like when we are seeing a form with a Chakhu, with our eye consciousness, to see it as it is. Dittha ditthamataya ditthesi. To see it as it is. So that is about the ayatana and about the khanda. Again, we can see that in the 5 aggregates of clinging. So upadana samudaya. So the 5 aggregates of clinging, which are the, like already discussed, Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vinyana. These are the aggregates of clinging. So seeing them, seeing the 4 noble truths in this. So this is the way we can do Kayanupassana also. And so these are the 6 ways basically that we do Kayanupassana. The first one is of the breathing, how we do breathing, breathing through our body, because we saw the example of a small baby. When a baby is born, the baby does not breathe. In fact, it is the breath which comes out. In the Sutta commentary, it mentions that the breath comes out, and automatically the in-breath happens, and that's how the breathing begins. So in the Kayanupasana, basically, when we sit with awareness, with mindfulness, we have seen the three aspects of place, posture, and practice. The first aspect, which we discussed in great detail, the place. What is the place? A suitable place, like a forest or a secluded place. We have seen the 9 places mentioned in the commentary. And then after seeking a suitable place, we look at our posture, how to sit properly, in how to have an erect body, straight, like any posture is fine to do, like sitting, lying, sleeping. But the Buddha suggests that the sitting posture in a lotus position, like folded legs, is the best position, so that the air passes freely. The in breath and out breath air passes freely in the body, and therefore the 18 bones of the back, they are balanced one above the other. They are in a balanced position, so that and we are more comfortable in this for a long period of time. We can sit in this posture comfortably for a long period of time. With this posture, like we also discussed about the model, how the models carry their body in straight, erect position, straight back, and also how the people, army people, and these people, they also carry their body in a straight. Back is straight, and sitting, whether walking, whether lying down, whether, so they have their body physique straight. So to be mindful in this way of our body, and with this kind of posture, when we are looking at our breath, so it is not the sabbakaya, meaning the body, that we are looking at, but we are looking at the air that is coming in and the air that is going out of the body. And just with this proper posture, proper place, we can do the right practice. The practice which is very, which has quick attainments and development towards samadhi. This is the most important part, for that matter. The breath that we take in the body. So is what it is. Pasasang sabbakaya pasas. It's the peacefulness that we get through the meditation in this posture.
Okay, Tai. Okay, Tai, thank you very much. Tai, the next question is related to the word upekha. We know it has many meanings, but this particular question is coming with respect to upekha is one of the 7 Sambodhi Ajanga, and also one of the 4 Brahma Vihara. So can you explain a little more about it?
Okay. So when we are looking at upekha, upekha has so many different dimensions in understanding it in Pali Tipitaka. Many dimensions. In fact, if you look at upekha in the akusala chitta, is different than the upekha in the higher developed chittas, like the Rupavachara, Jhan Anga, one of the Jhan Anga as upekha. So and moreover, you also have the Brahma Vihara as upekha. So here, basically, in the akusala upekha, that we have is indifferent, and it is associated with akusala chitta, in the akusala chitta. In the rupa vachara, it is a mahagata chitta. It is a great chitta, like what we know. People having that kind of upekha is our great persons can attain that kind of upekha. We know that, and it is one of the jhananga there, meditative factors, which take us to the next level. Like we know that upekha is like vitaka vichara piti sukha ekagata. So first 4 jhanangas do not have upekha. It is the 5th jhananga that has upekha. That is sukha, sukha ekagata and upekha ekagata. The 5th one is that. So what basically it is a kusala chitta. First of all, it is a very kusala chitta. It has to be developed as a meditative practice. And now when we talk about the Brahma Vihara as upekha, so Brahma Vihara, they are said to be, it is not something that is developed through meditation, but Brahma Vihara is the 4 Brahma Vihara that we have is metta, karuna, mudita, upekha. So to develop it in a right way, to see it in a right way, it is an immeasurable appamana. First of all, that it is an immeasurable. It can be developed to unlimited extent, and we will actually have to see how we can see these 2 upekha separate, unless and until one is a jhan factor and the other is not a jhan factor. Between the Brahma Vihara upekha and jhan upekha. So yeah, that is all I can say now.
Okay, Tai, thank you. Tai, the rest of the questions are more related to practice. If we have back pain, is posture important while doing vipassana? How do we, if we are not able to concentrate because there are a lot of thoughts coming during meditation, how to get rid of those? Do you wanted to comment any one of these questions, Tai? Maybe some generic comments.
Yeah, I would like to say in this case, like if you look at the kind of classes that the suttas which we have selected and that we are discussing, and also about Abhidhamma, all this is more of an experiential knowledge. So it is in the practice that one can understand further. It is kind of pariyatti and patipatti developing together. So it is that kind of concept. Now, when we are meditating, we will have many questions which come up per se. I mean, for our individual case. So it is not the technique or the method, but it may be related to our own behavior pattern, maybe, or so the first thing what I can say in case of any feeling of in the body, the basic understanding of anicca is there, right? We know that, and then anicca, dukkha, anatta. So that takes us further. But very specific questions like this would be nice if we can talk to our teacher, our where we are taking meditation, or where, let's say, in the Vipassana center, or let's say if we have such teachers to guide us, like some Bhante who do meditation, or that kind. So I think it is better to ask our teacher for our very personal aspects, like if there is a back pain, or specifically how, and maybe, but the basic answer to all of this is anicca, dukkha, anatta. So that is the basic answer. But not every time can, because sometimes the pain is too much, unbearable, or sometimes there are other aspects related to it which we do not know, and maybe our teacher, our meditation teacher, vipassana teacher, will be able to guide us based on the general experience and the practice that together the teacher is practicing with us. So I think that gives a lot of insights and the behavior pattern face to face with the teacher. So I think that should be approached whenever you feel that this is something that is prolonging since a long time, not able to find a solution to any such factor. And it is not wrong if we also approach for treatment, for medical treatment, if it is too much or unbearable for us. So these are so many things that we can look at. So based on, we have to decide for ourselves as to what is the best thing that I can go ahead with, considering the bearable capacity of my body and the understanding of my mind about anicca, dukkha, anatta, and the meditation practice. So I can always, I would want to say this, that the Buddha Sutta are all experiential. They are all experiential. They are also, you can say, the understanding is also based on our sankhara, how we are dealing with the understanding process, the knowledge process in this moment. So like I said, once we go on reading the sutta, we get more and more insights. It is good and advisable for everyone to read the sutta. Like there are suttas related to almost every aspect of human life. They are for the benefit of for the people to know. So I think you can also try reading the sutta, because if you cannot read the Pali, you can read the translations also to understand what exactly the Buddha wants to say, or if you are able to understand in that way. So there are so many dimensions to this aspect, Pankaj. I hope I have tried to cover all dimensions. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sai. Thank you very much for that advice, and very well said. I don't see any more questions, Sai. There are repeat questions, like something we might have covered in previous sessions. So what I would recommend is people to go ahead and watch the previous videos again, do the revision of it, so we are not asking the same questions.
Okay, Pankaj. So we can take Bhante's permission.
Yes, Bhante is. So anything you wanted to say, Bhante, before we conclude today's session, Bhante?
Yeah, we will give a blessing, and then we will conclude.
Okay, Bhante. Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah. Okay. Dukkha pada cha nidukha bhaya pada cha nibhaya soga pada sa nisoga hundu sabbivi bani no edawrasa ambehi samadam punya samadam sabbidewa numodandu sabba sambadi siddhiya Danandarandu sadaya sila rakhandu sabra bhavana pirira hundu gichandu devadagada Sabe Buddha Balabada Bishika Nisa Yambala Arahanda Nisha Dijena Rakhambana Misabaso Yangenji Waita Idawa Huran Wasagisuwa Yang Radana Banida Nano Sama Adidagadena Idambi Buddhi Radana Dhammi Radana Sangi Radana Banida
Bhavatu Sabha Mingala Rakhantu Sabha Devata Sabha Buddhanu Pavena Saraswati Bundu De Bhavatu Sabha Mingala Rakhantu Sabha Devata Sabha Dhammanu Pavena Saraswati Bundu De Bhavatu Sabha Mingala Rakhantu Sabha Devata Sabha Sanganu Pavena Saraswati Bundu De Sabitiyo Vivijantu Sokorogo Vinasantu Madhivo Dundrayo Sukhitika Yugo Bhava Abhiwadana Silesa Nichan Uda Pachayino Chataro Dhamma Vodandu Ayu Uno Sukham Balam
Sadhu.
Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu
Sadhu.